Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to some prime Money for Guns content. I am Will Saulsbery. I don't know, one of the lead singers, one of the songwriters for Money for Guns. And today I will be interviewing, sir, please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Kyle Kelley. I write songs for Money for Guns as well. I sing a little bit, play a little guitar. I arrange some stuff sometimes, mix some stuff, knock it out.
You're the lead engineer. God, you're like the utility man. You just do it all.
Yeah. Just keep me away from a drum kit. Other than that, I'll be all right. Yeah.
So, what we're going to do today is we're going to play a little game of either or, where I am going to ask Kyle 10 impossible questions that I have tailored just for him, for you to get to know him, because we realize we've been a band for over a decade, and I don't think anyone really knows anything about us other than our songs, so this will be fun. I know Kyle better than I should, but I want you to get to know him, and here's some questions that I don't know the answers to that I want to get. Are you ready, Kyle?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, so these are broken into three categories. One is music, one is sports, the other is potpourri, which I believe means everything. So the first one, I think it's going to be a layup for you. I want to get you started early. All right, here we go. Question number one. You're going to meet George Brett, one of your childhood heroes, but you have to wear a jersey of one of these players. You have to wear this jersey. Are you going to wear the jersey of Don Mattingly or Reggie Jackson?
Oh, man. I personally would probably go with Reggie on that one.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Don, I feel like if I wore Don, there might be even more of a chance of George Brett just like, I don't know, spitting at me or something like that. Maybe throwing a Budweiser at me. I feel like they're very similar, but like, I feel there's some tension there, you know?
Okay. Yeah, Don's a little more, I think, buttoned up than George, perhaps. They're kind of like oil and water. Okay, wow. I thought you were going to pick Don's jersey because Reggie and George had some playoff battles in the 70s and 80s. Okay, all right.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a tough call. I mean, if Wade Boggs is in there, that would be a completely different story.
You want to be caught dead in Kansas City in that jersey. All right, okay. Question one. Excellent job. All right, see, that was easy. This one, question two. I know my answer, but I honestly don't. I think I know, but I don't know. All right, so you can only listen to one of these songwriters for the rest of your life. You can listen to everything else, but you have to eliminate one of these two. Okay? So you can still listen to Live and Counting Crows and stuff like that, but you have to eliminate one of these two.
Okay, so I'm telling you the one that I want to keep, right?
Either way, say I would eliminate this one, keep this one, however you want to do it.
All right,
So,
gotcha.
Tom Petty or Bruce Springsteen?
Oh man, that is tough. That is tough. Probably current me would keep Tom Petty, I suppose. But if you're talking to like 18 years old to 25 years old me, it would definitely be the Boss, probably. I mean, I say definitely, but like that would be the one for that. I love them both, though. I mean, I just picked up a book. It's a book that's strictly about like Nebraska, and I haven't read it yet. But yeah, I'm going to dive into that, which I'm sure will lead me into diving into that record again, which is incredible.
Yes. It's the perfect, if you're driving at dusk, like west towards Kansas, it's the perfect record to put on. It's Nebraska by Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
I would pick Tom Petty as well. I mean, I do love Bruce Springsteen, but I don't know. There's something just different about him. I don't know. He seems more like, I don't know, like he grew up in kind of a Hoosier hick town like we both did. You know, I feel like we'd have more. We've spent time in trailer parks, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I love definitely a reappreciation of Tom Petty within the last 10, 15 years, I would say. I mean, I grew up with Tom Petty as well. But yeah, I mean, the man was a genius. Songs continue to be genius. So Can't go wrong with Tom.
Okay.
And I feel like Tom's a little more like people from various backgrounds kind of grab all like everyone loves Tom Petty. I don't necessarily I mean people say that about the Boss, but I know some people that are not Boss fans and they're pretty vocal about that.
How are your in-laws in New Jersey going to feel if they hear this answer?
I think they'll be all right. I mean, they know my appreciation of the Boss for sure.
Okay.
And the Boss is dear to my heart. And I think they appreciate Tom Petty as well. So I think we're all good. I mean, two incredible songwriters. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
All right. So, this one, if anyone who knows you, this will be, I think, the hardest question for you to answer. You have to eliminate one of these foods from your diet for the rest of your life. Right? You eliminate one of them. Are you eliminating the ham and cheese sandwich or fried chicken?
If I have to eliminate something, I would do the ham and cheese. I would stick with the fried chicken, yeah. I mean, I appreciate a good ham and cheese, don't get me wrong, but man, some good fried chicken goes a long way. It'll take you places. I mean, most likely to the hospital at some point, but
if you eat it every day, yes. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I love fried chicken too much. Like, it's so good. Oh man, a ham and cheese on white though. Whew. Just just regular Lay's. Whew.
it's a classic. I mean, you can't go wrong there. But yeah, actually, it's been a while since I've had some fried chicken, so this is spurring some ideas. I might have to swing by the Gerbs or maybe like Church's tomorrow or something like that.
I mean, the kids they need to eat. Your children need to eat, Kyle. Let's say be a good father, get them fried chicken. All right, okay. You have to proclaim on national television one of these two men as your personal god and hero. So on national TV, you have to proclaim it. Are you proclaiming Rich Gannon or John Elway?
Oh, God. Rich Gannon for sure, yeah.
I feel like you weren't going to hesitate much on that one.
There's no doubt. I was trying to think of like some am I being tortured and I have to proclaim Elway or something like that? But if there's no catch, no, it's Rich Gannon all the way.
Okay, fair enough.
Class act, yeah. Casey still loves Gannon. It's all good.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. All right. Neither one are as good as Mahomes, obviously. All right. So back in the potpourri category, Megan tells you all she wants for your next anniversary is for you to remodel the kitchen. Do you A, say, yes, honey, anything for you? Or do you say, fine, and then drink 3 straight beers and go downstairs and play guitar?
Well, naturally, the first.
Yeah, you said yes, honey. Let's do it.
That's a pitfall right there that I'm going to avoid. I mean, what I'll do is like map out the project and then go drink 3 PBRs and play guitar downstairs and ruminate on it for a while.
See, there you go. You're a thinking man. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a problem solver.
All right. I have another one that I think is going to be impossible. Which author would you keep?
Okay.
Because I know maybe you and our friend Gavin read more books than any person I know. Quality books.
Gavin just reads Shakespeare, right? Shakespeare.
He just reads Shakespeare and it's just all random, weird British stuff. You can either keep Denis Johnson or Ernest Hemingway.
Oh man. I would probably go Hemingway on that if I had to eliminate something. That said, because I mean, I do love Denis Johnson, and there's like, I mean, you and I have talked to like Jesus' Son. I think is fantastic. Train Dreams is fantastic. Like his shorter stuff is really, really great, and I feel the same way about Hemingway. Like I'm more of a short stories Hemingway guy than I am a novels Hemingway guy. So both of them really are very concise. Like they're at their best when they're concise, but just for sheer like impact of like, like changing things up a little bit, I go with Hemingway. And again, like, yeah, I just read so much Hemingway when I was like in my early 20s and stuff like that. So I'd probably stick with that.
Yeah, I was thinking about this one. This was a tough one because you turned me on to Dennis Johnson. Eternally grateful. And I think you're right. So I'm like 170 pages into Tree of Smoke. It took me about 100 pages. Now I'm finally like, oh, I'm really into this book.
Yeah.
But like Train Dreams, The Name of the World, Jesus Son, those quick, it's just like they're so good. And then Hemingway, the Nick Adams stories or any of the fishing stories. What is it? Up in Michigan, where young Nick Adams goes with his father to the, or is that Indian camp? But it's just like it's still haunts me when I think about it.
Yeah. Indian camp, yeah, where he's going to do the surgery or the birth. Yeah.
Yeah, Indian camp. I think about that and I'm like, God, it's so good. Like it's so disturbing, but
and it's like 7 pages long, or something like that.
I know.
Like,
so,
but yeah, Dennis Johnson's great. I'm reading, and I think I texted you this, but like Donald Ray Pollock, I think is his name.
mm-hmm.
He's like a cross between Cormac McCarthy and Dennis Johnson. So of course everything's very sunshiny and happy, and everyone comes out of the story a-okay, But
I think if people had never met either of us and just looked at the books we read, they'd be like, "Good Lord!"
right. No, yeah. Dennis John, like nothing really good ever happens to characters in a Dennis Johnson novel, but it's an experience.
And if anyone watching this, look up his poem "Monk's Insomnia" by Dennis Johnson. It may be my favorite poem ever written. That or yeah, there's a couple by T.S. Eliot. Anyway, we won't go down that. Okay, sorry. All right, so that was question 6. We have 4 questions left. Number 7. Which show do you want to keep? Mad Men or Breaking Bad?
Oh man, that's a tough one too. These are good impossible questions.
I do.
I would probably go. I've probably watched Breaking Bad, like repeats, going back to do repeated viewings and things like that more, but probably if I just had one, I would go with Mad Men just because it's a little more balanced. Like there's some funny parts to it. There's, Don's a hell of a character. There's more of a dynamics of various characters going on. Whereas, I love Breaking Bad, but man, at some point it just got like a Dennis Johnson story. It got really dire and nothing good was ever going to happen, right? And that's true. Don Draper.
Watching it, like we were talking about it, like the first 4 seasons is like one calendar year. I'm like, good Lord.
A lot happened.
Yeah, I think the dynamics of Don, Peggy, Don's every single person in the office and the relationship with Sterling. It's just the way they wrote and built the relationships in that world. Just because in Breaking Bad, it's like it's Pinkman and White, and then kind of people come and go, people get killed off. Tuco did not last long enough, in my opinion. Probably my favorite character. But
he came back for that Doritos commercial during the Super Bowl.
So good. All right, I think I'm with you on that one too.
Yeah, Mad Men's is still. Because there are moments in Mad Men that are just like laugh out loud, like roll on the ground, funny, and that's not necessarily true of Breaking Bad. You got to have a little balance. Again, I love Breaking Bad, but yeah.
Hammer drunk Don singing "Meet the Bits, Meet the Bits." Okay.
They have the lawnmower, like the riding lawnmower in the office. It's like the Christmas party, and the dude gets his foot run over or whatever. Like I think I spit out whatever I was drinking at the time.
Was it him and I got what's her name? Have to take the kid to the hospital or whatever. Yeah. All right. Okay. So next 2 are music, and then 1 potpourri to close it. So, what I know of you, we've spent an insane amount of time together.
Way too much time. Way too much time together.
It's run its course.
We listen to Thunder Rolls. Together
I mean, in our defense, the CD was stuck in the CD player in the 2002 Ford Explorer Sport. So we both have a love of, I think, the music we grew up on, 90s rock, 80s, 90s rock, like good quality rock. And then we love 60s and 70s rock and roll music. So you are a better singer than you give yourself credit for. But I'm going to ask you, you can switch voices with one of these men. It's from the two parts of your life of music that I think you really love the most.
All right.
You can either switch voices with Richard Manuel
Yeah.
or Chris Cornell.
I mean, I would go with Richard Manuel on that.
Okay.
I mean, Chris Cornell definitely, a ferocious singer. Some pipes on that guy for sure. But yeah, I go with Richard Manuel. A little more. I like a little more subtlety, yeah, I mean, Richard Manuel, even like I'm not a huge fan of his falsetto stuff when he gets up there. Like I like it just his natural, like lower voice. But yeah, I mean, he's got range. He just had a beautiful voice. Again, Cornell, I mean, just a rager. But and not that he couldn't be a little more honey about things, but yeah, I go with Richard Manuel. I feel pretty good about that one.
Okay.
I mean, and we get to hear BC sing, who is the Chris Cornell of Columbia, Missouri. So that space is filled, man, because man, he's got some pipes.
He will be appearing at the Money for Guns vinyl release show this fall in Columbia, Missouri. I will say this: Richard, the greatest rock and roll interview of all time is in The Last Waltz. Richard Manuel laying on the couch and just not giving it and making sure Robbie understands that. Chris Cornell did sing "You Know My Name" from a James Bond movie, which always has a part. Man, this is tough for me. I do love Richard Manuel, but I might go Chris Cornell just because I just want to once be able to do that anthemic rock and just for about 150,000 people and just own all of them. Because I can be really charming, but after about 75 people, that doesn't work anymore. Like you need.
I mean, think about like how. I mean, I never saw Soundgarden, but like that was a loud band. Everyone was coming at it, and he was still like able to get above all that like powerfully.
Is he the best singer of those 90s?
Is he the what?
Is he the best of that? What they call the grunge movement? Is he the best pure vocalist?
I mean, he's got some pipes on him for sure. I mean, I don't know if anybody can like out-sing him. There might be more. There's just different styles there. But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I like. Yeah. I mean, there was great singers among that whole bunch up there in the Northwest. So. I'm a big like Mark Lanigan fan. He was like Screaming Trees and did lots of solo stuff. And he's got, I mean, totally different style of voice. Very like Too Many Cigarettes baritone, but I really enjoy his style as well.
And we can always bring in Kevin's favorite singer of all time, Anthony Kiedis. I love the Chili Peppers, but some of the greatest Steve Aller lines of all time. All right, so one more music one.
Right.
Better pure lyricist. I'm not saying songwriter like composition or arrangement, just pure lyricist. Who is the better pure lyricist? Is it Bob Dylan or Townes Van Zandt?
Ooh, yeah, I mean that's a tough one because there probably wouldn't be a Townes without a Bob Dylan influence in there at some point, Man, that's a tough one. I think just if we're talking about sheer body of work, like just longevity of just knocking it out of the park, you got to go Dylan. Unfortunately, Townes has been gone for a long, long time. But if we were talking about like just very specific songs,
like let's say like that Sandy Koufax like 5 years of dominance. If you could pick like their 10 top songs, where do you lyrically, obviously?
Lyrically, I mean Townes is incredible. I would probably like if I'm looking at the best of the best, I would probably still go Dylan there if we were talking like, you know, um, what would be like what's Subterranean Homesick Blues on? Which album is that? Like that kind of starts
Bringing it
like
all back home. Yeah.
so bringing it all back home to
Or another
through blood on the tracks and things like that. Like that's a solid stretch. There's not a whole lot that's going
That's a
off.
10-year run.
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, I love Towns, but just reading his biography, watching the documentary on him, it is as far as pure poetry. He's I don't know if there's anyone better. There's as good as, but yeah, I mean that like that when you put it that way, that just run of excellence and moving through genres the way Dylan kind of did back and forth. Where Towns he played blues and folk. That was kind of his thing. He'd have a band with him, backup singers, but it was, he didn't go back and forth the way Dylan did or do, that Jesus run of in the late 70s with, what was that? Slow Train Coming and, a few other records in there. So, yeah, I think you're right on that. Okay. All right. Okay. You're bringing me around to your point of view.
Yeah. Again, I was listening to Towns the other night, and I love Towns' voice. I know some people aren't love him as a writer, but don't love his voice. But man, I think he's got a dynamite voice, and it's just perfect for like the delivery of those songs. So
until he shot it down with enough booze and cigarettes and self-inflicted wounds, he had a beautiful voice to sing those early songs, those first few records. Okay, the last one. I think I know the answer. This has nothing to do with music. Kyle, you're killing it so far. People are really getting to know what's going on inside there and in there.
Nobody wants to know that.
So, you have been known on occasion in a safe and comfortable environment to imbibe.
Occasionally, yeah.
Occasionally. Not often. We're not young men anymore.
No, like weddings, if there's a toast involved, I don't want to be rude.
No. Yeah. Someone's passing it around. I mean, come on. Which causes now? I'm not talking about right now as a grown man, a father of two. Which causes a worse hangover?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mango flavored cheap vodka, or Kevin's magic muffins.
Definitely the cheap vodka. Most likely provided by you circa 2007, 2008, something like that. I myself don't buy a flavored vodka, but I certainly have partaken. And there's probably some around on the liquor cart right now. I usually I stick bottom shelf. Like I go bottom shelf, so they don't even. I can't even afford the flavored vodka. The Burnett.
Is it Crystal Palace? Is that what you buy?
I either go Crystal Palace Deluxe. So I mean, or Four Freedoms that Todd enjoys as well.
Still, you live in like a palatial 5-bedroom estate in the eastern hills of Columbia, and you still buy $6 Crystal Palace.
Yeah, no, it's just something to take the edge off a little bit. And it's not bad. It's not bad for what it is. It's better than mango flavored Burnett's, and it treats me a little bit better.
Yeah, but Kevin's magic muffins. There's once you know how to do it responsibly, you're good. I've never seen you in that kind of state. That's all I'm saying.
That there was some cognitive dissonance happening that day, yeah. And I do blame Kevin. I mean,
Aww.
No, that was my own poor decision making. I'm here to tell the tale though, so
that's true.
But yeah.
All right, so that was your 10 questions. You survived.
Through. That was tough.
You did a fantastic job. I feel like the audience knows you better, and I think they know themselves better now because they answered all these questions with you.
Yeah. No, these are all tough questions. These are all like appropriate and personalized. This is personalized content for everyone. But yeah, those are tough. I had to dig deep to try to get through that. I only hope that others fare as well.
See, so smash that subscribe button. I don't know. That's what the kids say. I don't know what we're doing. What is it? Like? What is it? Like or I don't know. I will say, if you want to hear what we're actually doing, which is playing and recording music, you can find us on Spotify, wherever fine music is streamed on the interwebs, everywhere. Come see us live this fall. Our new record, All the Darkness That's in Your Head, bringing it all the way back to Dennis Johnson books, is coming out this August. We'll be touring all over Missouri in support. Kyle, any parting words for the fine folks watching this?
Yeah, check out the record. It's got lots of great songs from everyone on it. And it's got the Kevin co-written song on there, which is fantastic, that ends the record. Todd's got a banger on there. So lots of good quality stuff. Yeah, thanks for the questions. And those are tough. I'm gonna let me know who's next on the block, and I want to write some questions for them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I wonder what. Oh, I'd love to do these with Joel, but anyway. All right. So Kyle and I are going to stick around and talk, but we have to let you all go. So enjoy. Tell your friends about Money for Guns. I'd say the greatest rock and roll band that's ever been split between St. Louis and Columbia.
That seems right. Yeah. I think that's we got Inside Columbia to vote on that, I think. And I'm pretty sure that's true.
Thank you, Kyle Schlossler. All right. Until next time, I'm alongside the great Harry Belafonte, RIP. I'm Will Saulsbery. This has been Kyle Kelley. We are 33% of Money for Guns. Bye.
Catalog and love's fast forward.